Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I will like you guys to bit understand what is happening from a local, presence company like us with local investments of our own and working with more than 10,000 customers. Middle East, of course, I'm more concerned about not the region which most of Chinese and international companies operate, which is Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE, which are the three largest
Mm,
economies also of GCC.
mm,
And, they have been involved in an uninvited war because, this is primarily a war between United States, Israel, and Iran,
yes.
and these countries have done nothing to be involved in this. But anyway, now reality is that it is a bit surprising and unwanted that they have been facing drones and missile attacks from Iran continuously for now. We are almost in the seventh day of the war as we speak. Tomorrow we will complete a week of it. This is the situation which is was unexpected. So it's a kind of a unexpected risk. Nobody had thought that Iran will attack these brother countries who have very clearly said that we will not support any war in the region and
Mm,
try to maintain a neutral stance because they are more, they were not never there, any involved in any objectives of the war at all. Secondly, coming to the macroeconomic situation in this region, you
mm,
have to realize, unlike large countries in Asia or West, these countries have five or six very unique things. One, God bless their visionary leaders, because we've seen in the past also challenges like Corona or other global crises, even the Russia-Ukraine war, and these countries with their deep, global understanding,
mm,
relationships, geopolitical, and as well as visionary, very caring uh, leadership, are very well positioned to overcome any challenge now and in future, and they've showcased it in the past also very well.
mm, mm,
Macroeconomic wise, these countries run huge surplus budgets. They have trillions of dollars in sovereign funds, and they have, even in worst time of zero values or of oil and gas, or very low values in time of corona global shutdowns, they have been able to take care of the region and continue on their path of progress and their projects
mm,
in the past. So it's a pragmatic opinion on this would be that they have been pushed into an unwanted war. They have visionary leaderships. They have great defense system, because in
mm,
spite of thousands of drones and missiles of all kind, uh, you know, shot by Iran on these countries, they've been able to avoid any
mm,
real damage to human life or resources or infrastructure. And it is I will again and again, God bless their leadership as well as their defense forces, and I am overwhelmed by the resilience of their defense infrastructure and its expertise to be able to shoot down all the enemy attacks till now and keep its population as well as huge. It's These countries are very expat driven. I think we
mm,
have more than some 30-40 million expats in this region. How they've been able to save them, keep them safe, keep them supplied, keep any kind of inflation, food shortages under control. And the government has been completely supportive and is taking care of
mm,
all of us here in the best possible manner as their own people. Although we all are expats from world over, they have 200 nationalities in this region, 30 million people, and of course, biggest number of people come from China and India because of their
mm,
global big number of non-resident populations. But then they are from everywhere, and they've been taking care of all of us, supporting us, and so on individual basis. The business is there is no knee-jerk reaction. Business is as usual, and they have deep economic resilience. They have visionary leadership. So I am very sure that it will have a temporary impact, but long term, we are in best hands we could be anywhere in the world.
Oh,
And we
okay.
have seen that recently in time of Corona, how well they handled the crisis economically. There were minimal job losses or disruptions, how they were valued, saved human lives from treatments to giving them, everybody free doses of vaccination to everything possible, how they have done. And they are doing it again. God bless them and their defense forces and their frontline workers.
Thank you。我想补充问一下，就刚才就提到的关于政府的一系列评价，是针对这个阿联酋，还是说海湾国家这些国家的总体的政府的一个状态
？We're asking for the government actions. The highly recommend. It depends on the UAE or the all GCC countries.
GCC as a region has stood together as Gulf countries. They are stood together as against this action by Iran, unauthorized action by Iran, as they are defining, and they are in close coordination. I think we've seen all the foreign ministers had a conference with all the EU foreign ministers. They are talking to all global leaders, including Supreme Leader of China, Russia, India, European leaders, and there is military aid announced by all friendly countries to them because they have also financial interest and their people here. So we've listened about aircrafts being sent from the United Kingdom to Italy and Germany and France, sending more air power protection systems to India, supporting them logistically. To China must be doing it. Maybe I have no information, but then they have good geopolitical relationship and so on. So they are coordinating with each other. But end of the day, they are sovereign, independent countries. So they are, of course, they have their own strategies. And at this time, we strongly believe in them, in their ability to best handle them. And they are handling it best. And there's no fear or panic at all for all of us.
OK，然后刚才正如您所说，大家也是被迫的卷入到这场战争嘛，之前也没有预期，那就是在现在已经是第7天了，然后想了解一下这7天里您观察到的对企业的一些直接的影响，特别是对于中国企业的一些直接影响是有哪些方面？
Okay, as you mentioned before, and they don't want this happen. They've been forcing to get this situation, but these things is happened for past 7 days. For the past 7 days, what have been going on in here, and what the entrepreneurs and what the companies feedback about this unexpected situation, especially what Chinese companies feedback about this situation.
Chinese community, we have a lot of colleagues there in the same room where I am, and they are very resilient, very smart, very entrepreneurial in nature, and they've been calm. Of course, we have been fully duly supported by the local governments in the region. So as I told you in previously also, they are ensuring enough supply of food. There is no disruption in electricity, water, any kind of infrastructure other than some security alerts to take sometimes shelter and stay indoor. And there has been no, touch wood till now, there's no real damage on the ground. There's been some noises heard sometimes of missiles being shot down or aircraft shooting down enemy possible attacks. But other than that, the noises and very small some damage on the American airbase maybe, which is reported by some countries or some one or two drone attacks here and there. 99% of the threat has been neutralized. And this has given a new confidence to people. And, in UAE, for example, I see the president, the vice president, and the prime minister, the crown prince, and the defense minister publicly, in these situations globally, we will expect these VIPs to be hiding in bunkers and not caring about people. Here, they are 24/7 giving information, alerts, ensuring food supplies. They are appearing in public places to assure people that everything is safe and good. And thanks to their defense forces, in such a major attack in 1 week, minimalistic damage. Minimalistic damage. I have never seen a more resilient and a more better defense system anywhere in the world, where thousands of missiles, thousands of drones came, and we had all almost shot down, 99.99% shot down by their air defense system, by their fighter aircraft. So what a leadership, salute to them. What a military infrastructure they've built, defense infrastructure, and they have supplies for months of food and water. They are reassuring. They are running even regular flights out if people want to go. But you can judge by the confidence, in spite of running these regular flights, which Emirates is running maybe few hundred a day, and Etihad and Saudi Airways and so on. There are not people. I don't know any of my friends, colleagues who've panicked and left the country. They are all here. Of course, some people have some additional stress. And like within our organization, we are trying to be in touch with people, do some stress release exercises with them, whatever possible. But then, because of this misinformation sometimes, and too much of flow of information from social media, which is a challenge nowadays, because a lot of wars are fought on information instead of or misinformation, I must say. That is the only challenge which government is clamping down on. They have been clamping down on anybody who's spreading misinformation or wrong information. I don't see any real challenge on any other living condition.
Yes. 就除了就是您提到的关于错误信息的方面的一些问题之外，就大家现在也比较关心这个物流与航运的这个问题，尤其是对于这些中国的出海企业、外贸企业来说，这个物流问题可能现在是一个比较大的挑战。就想了解一下这个实际的情况和大家的一些解决方法，大概是什么样子？
The most challenge what we mentioned is like the mistake news, fake news online. But for now, they would like to know for the situation right now. There's no airplane coming in and out. They may take, and they wanna ask for the company that they already want to set up the company or say in UAE, and there's a high challenge about the transparency, even though in the ocean and during the war, like what about their things in the ocean that they couldn't get in for the country, the logistics.
There has been safety corridors created by these airlines and for carrying out people in and out, and probably they are using new routes. And I know of hundreds of flights already done to Europe, India, other parts of the world by Emirates and Etihad, and Saudi Airways, and of course Muscat, Oman, continues to be a busy hub. These are very, very responsible countries. Safety of their people, continuously we see government high authorities, ministers making press conferences and live telecast assuring residents and nationals of all kind of security and safety. Till now, in warlike situation, 100% nobody can predict what will happen in future. That's the risk, that's the panic. But at the same time, it offers an opportunity that if you have resilience and you have belief, then these are great times. Great times. I'm saying these are good times for investors. No government contracts have been cancelled. No work on any sites or projects have been stopped. No investment have been stopped by governments or anything. Only thing which they have stopped probably is they've cut down on oil and gas production because of logistic situation, mainly shipping companies, insurance, and so on. But other than that, everything is, as we speak, going well and going on normal. And we've seen also these stoppages in time of Corona, and then how these governments were able to get over it. And of course, these countries offer, a lot of incentives for, like in-country valuation, for domestic procurement, for investment in in infrastructure or manufacturing, and also they have free trade agreements with uh,
Mhm.
with a lot of countries, and including very strong relationship with countries like China, Japan, the whole East, because of they are very interdependent for oil and gas on each other, and they are dependent on China, Japan, India, and other countries for technology, for their excellent manpower, reliable, excellent, strong manpower, and their company's ability to execute large infrastructure, construction, technology, products, and everything. So this is
Mhm.
like uh, a very, very strong partnership. It may require a temporary reset to be pragmatic enough. I can't say everything is completely okay. It will require a temporary reset. But if you have a medium term to long term viewpoint about this market, then this is a good time to come. This is a good time
Okay.
to. It's a
And
temporary reset. Any change or any incident of global incident of this level will, of course, have a temporary reset requirement. Every company will have to look at their business models, individual business models, or their supply chains, or their customers' requirements, or their people's well-being also. But at the same time, uh, this is a small reset and temporary. It will, of course, offer a lot of with high per capita incomes, high GDPs, high, as I said, reserves and trillions of dollars of surplus budgets every
Mhm.
year. They have the economic might, and they have the defense might also now to withstand any such challenge, even from medium to long term.
嗯，明
And
白。
at the moment, they are just defending. You can imagine. They've never, even after all this violation, they've not joined the attack on any way.
嗯
GCC has not joined any attack on Iran or anything. So I think this will wither away soon, and people should have a long-term, medium-term viewpoint. These countries will continue to be a gateway to Africa, young, great population, great spending power, and belief in friendship with major economy of second largest economy of the world, China. China is
嗯
their major partner, I think. uh, they respect the Belt and Road Initiative. They have hosted the supreme leader few times in Middle East by every country. And China continues to import, I think,
yes，
seventy-eight percent of
嗯
its energy needs from them. So they have been a key contributor and partner in China, and they will continue to it. Rather, maybe because of this is a West-driven war,
嗯哼
this is also probably in future reset where in this region there will be more hunger for Chinese companies and technology and products.
嗯哼，OK。哎，
Yeah.
您刚才提到就是关于政府的或者项目其实都没有暂停嘛，但是我们还是想了解一下，就是目前对于中国企业，他们布局中东的一些整体的节奏，是否会出现一些项目延期啊，或者说订单取消，或者重点转向其他市场的一些情况？就是您有没有一些具体的案例啊，或者说这项的观察可以分享一下？
Okay, as we mentioned before, like the government investment is not stopped because of this situation, and they would like to know some Chinese entrepreneurs, Chinese company, their plan does their plan change because of this unexpected new situation? Is there any example that they can provide to them?
See, first few 3 4 days of the war, there was a disruption in air travel. There have been,
嗯
of course, disruption in tourism. So it is like initial jerk reaction has been there.
嗯哼
So things have become a bit postponed. In the terms that we have a lot of global customers who are planning to visit for various economic activity or important meetings or so on. They have not been able to come here and do those things. A lot of them are carrying on digitally and continuing to do that, and government is facilitating. Like we've been working with government in all these countries. Their tenders are going on. We are bidding digitally or even physically, and they are
嗯
continuing to award tenders or award businesses or process payments or continue the processes and so on. But then, of course, individual travel and has been a bit disrupted. And initial misinformation is a lot of people, because the world has 8 billion people. Some don't know really what is going on here. Some doesn't know that how well their defense is, how well the leadership is. So there is some maybe I know of a lot of business engagements being cancelled by people who are going to planning to come in, and negotiations being postponed. But I believe in 2 weeks we will be fine. Anyway, this is my holy month of Ramadan, and where working hours are restricted, and it's a bit slow on business. And post Eid, probably, which is in third week of March, everything will be back to normal. That is what I'm expecting, at least. And I'm
OK
very optimistic about.
OK，就是您预计大概2周之后可能就会恢复正常了。
For your expectation, in 2 weeks, everything gonna go back to normal.
I'm saying that, anything which is of a war and has an initial knee-jerk reaction by people. But seeing how the governments have been able to keep the infrastructure going, the food supplies going, inflation under control, activity all normalized, 100% safety almost of everybody here. Just talking about UAE as an example, it has approximately 12 million expats, and we've had minimalistic damage, I think, of any by this war or anything. And people are, I'm working in, of course, they sometimes work digitally, but sometimes on site and so on. So nothing is stopping, actually. But there will be some people who are always weak in heart and weak in decision making, who may be overreacting. Other than that, it's as usual. And once the adjustment because of new situation is done in next 1 or 2 weeks, the business should be more back to normal than now. At the moment, people who are here already, they are conducting themselves normally, but foreign visits are limited. But end of the day, once the oil and gas assets go back to normal business, or ferocity of the war becomes a bit less, and people have made the adjustments required for the situation, then I think I expect it to be much better in 2 weeks. That's my personal assessment. I'm not a defense analyst or an expert on this.
OK，就您刚才提到，这就目前这个阶段是一个临时重置的期间嘛，然后我就是想了解一下，这个事情是不是也暴露了，特别是对于出海的中国企业来说，它要重新评估一下它的供应链或者说其他的环节，然后之后它在中东的布局做一些新的调整和一些新的权重的一些决策的调整呢？
As you mentioned, for right now, everything was just temporarily reset up. And for this situation, then that means like the go global Chinese company need to over consider the new situation, and they have to make a new decision about how to strategy their supplier chains and their investment share. And for all that, do you think it's necessary for the
See, any change, geopolitical situation always brings new opportunities, and every company has to have relook at their risk and growth strategies both. So if I say there will be no reset required, it is not right. This is, as I said, an unexpected war. So people will take this reality in their mind in when they are maybe in the short term or to medium term deciding their future strategies. As far as general macro level thing is, the individual companies will do their own reset their business plans or supply chains or risk management strategies, or treasury strategies and so on. But or even energy strategies, if their energy is an important part of their raw material and so on. But end of the day, China and GCC, most of the countries have very, very strong partnerships for decades now. And in recent last 10 years, I have seen a real boom uh, of Chinese businesses and partnership between China and Saudi Arabia, China and UAE, of course, under visionary leaderships of both these countries. And so it is only way to meet in few months is up and nothing else can only go up from here. And I told you in the beginning itself that there is a lot of economic resilience in the region. It's not they are poor countries and they can't afford a war or something. They will continue to announce new government spending, new infrastructure projects, and they will need the Chinese manufacturing to construction to goods and so on. And also, geopolitically, I think this region looks at China not transactionally. They don't look at China as like a trade relationship or the Chinese people. They look them upon them as an important part of their basic infrastructure. For this region's stability, Chinese and Middle Eastern relationship is extremely important. So I believe at Chinese government level also, businesses level also, they will continue their support to the region. And region will keep welcoming China with all open hands and red carpet as it has been doing over the last few years. And also for future investors, the way current investors and current Chinese residents living here, how governments and companies are taking care of them, how they are ensuring their safety, their well-being, their livelihoods. It should be an example. I mean, to say what you want from a partner who holds your hand in difficulty, takes care of you in such situations. I cannot think of a better partner than the Middle East.
我比较想了解一下，就是虽然就刚才听，刚才听您的观点，就是对中东的未来的局势还是非常有信心的，但是就还是有没有就听到一些中国企业或者说一些其他企业，它对于这个继续深耕中东市场和分散市场风险之间，它会做一些讨论和取舍，就是或者说您觉得什么行业，未来在中东还是会有比较大的发展的趋势？
As you were saying, that all the GCC countries and the companies, they're confident in this situation, but they still want to know that for now, Chinese entrepreneurs are they thinking about to for invest in Middle East and also the risk research and for how many which industry you think is much more better for later in in the Middle East.
Well, at the moment, uh, with Middle East spending power and economic might, they will, of course, spend more on making these countries probably more safer, on defense, of course, they will strengthen their own resources related businesses, while they will, of course, continue. If you see all these countries, they continue to make investments to make their economies less dependent on oil and gas. They have all visions where by 2050, like UAE says, that zero oil and gas income they will be part of the GDP of this country. And same with Saudi Arabia, Qatar have all visions. And of course, there are big global events planned like the FIFA World Cup and Expo 2030 in Saudi Arabia. And of course, there is huge infrastructure projects like railways or power plants or even gas-based power plants, nuclear-based power plants. Now, Saudi is planning to set up, and if God forbid any damage happens, there will be a requirement for rebuilding those infrastructures, whatever is damaged for businesses. And we know that China is a country where people are very smart and very entrepreneurial, and it is second to the largest economy of the world. This region will require all support from China in every aspect to rebuild. I see, yeah, and to rebuild their infrastructure, rebuild their business cycle, and so on. If there is a disruption on a longer term, the moment there is a temporary disruption. I repeat, if there is a disruption on longer term. But then I think China will have opportunity everywhere. Already they are welcoming Chinese tech companies, artificial intelligence companies there. If you see any major infrastructure project, construction, real estate, Chinese are predominant here. If you see even mobile phones to car, more and more Chinese presence everywhere. If you see big trading, uh, of course, energy sector, China is biggest partner, being the biggest importer with most of these companies. It's their biggest customers and also technology partner. So shipping and logistics is going to grow. Defense, as I said, would be surely a topic of further discussion between the countries at G2G level. So I can't think of which industry will not boom here in future with Chinese partnership, and they are looking at inviting more Chinese investment, more Chinese talent, more Chinese technology, and partnership with China is one of the most important for them, I believe. And for China also, uh, it's a market which is very welcoming, which has a good feeling towards China. It's not like, I will not like to name, but not like the Western side of the world, which is creating more and more trade barriers or more and more human barriers, or spreading misinformation about Chinese uh, companies or economy, or it's even sometimes, unfortunately, towards its people. Here, they respect the Chinese for what China has achieved in last 3-4 decades, and what and their people, and they respect their intellect, their intelligence, their technology, their resilience, as well as their entrepreneurial skills. You'll be surprised. Most of lot of I think government schools in the region are teaching Mandarin to school kids. So you will have a huge GCC population uh, speaking Mandarin in the next few years, and being more connected to China and all. Whether it's agencies like government agencies like RDO or all free zones, they have China offices. Whether it's Dubai Chamber, China is one of the biggest partner in their scheme of things. There's no doubt about
OK，我比较好奇一个问题，因为我也去过那个迪拜或者去沙特也好多次了嘛，然后也比较好奇，就是您怎么看中国企业在出海中东的时候，他们经常会遇到的一些误区，或者他们经常会做的一些错误的判断，就对于中国企业这个群体来说。然后您觉得就是目前哪些中国企业可能在中东可能更容易成功，或者更容易能留得住？他们需要有哪些特质？
Okay. As she said, she have been go to Dubai, UAE, and Saudi Arabia, and for the Chinese companies go global. And which area you think like the entrepreneurs, the company, and the company leaders was misunderstand about the situation about UAE, about Middle East, and what kind of like mistakes they've been made before, and for later they will think 不好意思，刚才第二个问题您可以再重新说一下吗？就是关
嗯，
于中国企业的误区，另外一个是他们以
呃，
后
对，第二个就是关于就是尤其是特别是这个局势之后，就有哪些特质的企业才会更容易留在，或者说长期在中东稳定的发
Okay.
展？嗯
Okay. So next question is like for after this situation passed, and what character and of the entrepreneur the company have can make them to stay survive in the Middle East.
Middle East, I again say, is a very big area. It covers
嗯
Iran, it covers Iraq, it covers Syria, it covers Lebanon, it covers even Israel, and it covers Jordan and GCC and so on. So when you talk about the bigger Middle East plan, there is a lot of destruction going on in Iran. There's a lot of destruction, unfortunately, maybe happen in Iraq or or Lebanon, and some in Israel, maybe, because these are the main propagandists or main participants of the war. This is where the Chinese companies who have some business interest in these markets, like I believe they have long-term oil and gas assets or interest in these markets, or they have some relationships and partnerships. This is where the reset will be the biggest. The challenges will be the biggest. But I always say I'm a strong believer in peace and human happiness. But then war always brings new opportunities for smart people. So there will be smarter Chinese investors who are very smart, and they will readjust, and they will have less competition, and they will have more monopolies or more opportunities everywhere. So Middle East, there will be. I have a lot of fear when it comes to Iran, when it comes to Lebanon, unfortunately, maybe Iraq, and maybe some countries are a bit geopolitically unstable. Yemen, mm, Syria, still maybe, and Israel is, I don't know what is the long-term solution to it. So these countries, when you talk about Middle East, will require major rethink and reset. I highly ambitious and risk takers will go there and maybe probably rebuild and make money for the time being. As far as GCC is concerned, it was never their war. They've been pulled in because of some American interest or something which makes them to be more careful, probably geopolitically, to who to partner and who not to partner. They will boom massively because once the war will become cooler, even a lot of businesses from these war zones will maybe relocate to Dubai or Saudi Arabia and so on. So, whole Middle East, I can't say it's good news for everybody. Cannot be good news for Iran or Israel or to be in a hardcore war, and their defense systems are not as strong as these GCC defense systems, and they are not geopolitically even supported by globally. And there's a lot of opinions, and maybe they will have more sanctions, and economic fallout will be there also on the banking systems and supply chains more in these countries.
Okay.
So this is the challenge, but then the countries which you have visited, they will continue to be safe havens and probably a land of opportunities and land of, what is Middle East done? There is, I know of few hundred at least entrepreneurs from China who've come here and made individual success by their businesses. The biggest traders from energy to biggest traders in even things like cigarettes, alcohol, everything is Chinese, and biggest traders in even building material, in technology, AI driven companies, or distribution arms, city surveillance, cameras, everything is Chinese. So this is a unique land or area where foreigners or expats have an opportunity to make huge financial success from local businesses. It's not they are bringing money from home countries. No. They make businesses here which are and turn them to be of size and of profitability. So this USP is not going away by this war in the GCC. But then Middle East balanced than GCC, it is very difficult to tell what direction it is going. It
Uh,
is at the moment too early to tell that.
uh, Sorry, Miss Zhou.
Right.
I want to add one point. If
Okay.
yeah, you can also correct me if it's wrong. So, Miss Mayuji, could you please also help to highlight some suggestions for the Chinese companies if they want to go overseas market, some like Middle East region or GCC region? What kind of area they should watch out? Like, for example, some risk, some taxation risk, or some legal risk.
Of
Could you
course,
please?
ease of doing business wise and per capita income wise and consumption wise, UAE and Qatar are small populations and very rich and very welcoming to expats. But the size of the country wise and in future infrastructure wise per capita income, although is low, and they have large population of their own, Saudi Arabia is also equally good. So these three countries are major growth points in Middle East. They have young populations, they have huge resources, they have huge reserves, they have huge hunger for technology and infrastructure, and they are very welcoming to expats. And you can conduct, of course, tax-wise, UAE and Qatar are most friendly. Saudi has higher percentages of VAT and corporate tax and so on. But then, as an international investment and logistics center, UAE and Qatar are very good.
我比较好奇一个点，就是刚才您提到，可能还会有一些机会，或者说一些聪明的中国的企业家或者投资人，他们已经找到了一些新的机会点。这个就是能再展开讲一讲吗？就是对于这个中东局势之下，除了一些挑战之外，产生了一些新的机遇。
For what we mentioned before, that in this stable situation in Middle East, and you mentioned there's risk and challenge and also opportunities at the same time. And she would like to know, can you be more specific about the opportunity part?
See, a business reset means opportunities for smart businesses. I mean to say, if this war continue, there will be a very great opportunity for the companies who can make alternate supply chain arrangements, who can make for everything from this defense equipment to food, who can continue doing the projects in this special times here. There will be a premium, I believe, for them. And if they have those solutions available, it will be maybe also a bit like Corona. If it goes south, our worst fears of it making more fears, then even home deliveries and there will be limited periods of maybe people staying home or semi lockdowns. Then typical what we've seen in those situations few years ago, those businesses will boom, and those businesses who are able to it will be a change that people will have to maybe it's also do a lot of things online, and digitalization will take further leap, technology will take further leap, and resilience will take further leap. People who don't panic, who don't run away, will be the winners.
好的。然后关于最后一个问题，就是如果说您来给这个接下来还想来中东布局的，以及说目前仍在中东布局的企业，您目前会给到一些什么样的具体的建议，以及在风险的设计方面，就是您觉得他们应该重点关注哪些维度？
Any suggestion that you can give it to the entrepreneurs that are already in UAE, or those people still have interested in investing in UAE? And what do you suggest for them to consider?
I can only tell them one thing, that see, a country should be judged by its conduct, how UAE is taking care of expats or our companies, how they took care in time of epidemic, how they are taking care of our security, our well-being, our needs now, shows the real investment climate. So we are all lucky to be blessed to be here with such a visionary leadership, such a nice physical defense, infrastructure, with thinking about food stuff security, to physical security, to medical arrangements, to every kind of monitoring of inflation, to doing everything for people to have comfortable regular life without any panic. So their conduct, their track record is the biggest advertisement. They've already proved it. I mean to say, there is no need to even advertise it. I mean to say, if I say I am the best country of the world, but I have proven again and again by taking care of people who are not even my own nationals, from giving them free vaccines to taking care of their well-being, and then protecting their businesses in every possible way, continue every kind of support from the government, every kind of help. I mean to say, more country and government or leadership with more empathy, with more, strength, resilience. I have spent most of my adult life working across the globe. I have, I am overwhelmed by the support and by the care these countries are offering to all expats, including the Chinese. So I have not seen any other country do like that for foreigners or for expats who come to work here. So Chinese who live here, who really understand it, their confidence about long-term, investment goals in this region should be only soaring high. Although there will be others who are not so, are very risk averse, they will probably, of course, try to diversify somewhat or here or there. But I believe majority of them, no one rule or one strategy will work for all, industry-wise or individual-wise or business leadership-wise. Every company has its own DNA, philosophy, strategy, ambition, dream. But the countries and their conducts and leaderships, uh, mm, I will say, ability to manage and show empathy and take care of the situation, it is unparalleled. It is full with empathy. It's full with care. It's filled with fairness. It's filled with even transparency of information. Could not be better.
OK。我的问题就到这儿了，然后非常感谢您的分享，观点非常精彩。再次感谢您抽出时间来接受我们的采访。
Thank you for your time and being here and all the questions.
Anything you or your customer needs particular from us about this region, or any of your customers or viewers have any need for local support here, we at MBG, we have 500 people on the ground strongly believing in these economies and future of this region. We'll do our best. So please, this is my assurance to you as the chairman of the group, that every person of our is our customers or possible customers, extended arm and family here on the ground.
Okay.
For information, for support, anything. So Miss Isabella is in China, of course, in Shanghai herself on the ground supporting, and she can be a true bridge in these times if they need anything from our side. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.